Alright guys, Christian over at Enfig Car Stereo. Today we're going to show you how to install a spec custom ashtray holder in a BMW E63. That's a 6 Series. This is actually a convertible, so the body style changed. I think it's 64 if convertible. But anyway, either way, install's the same for both. What I'm going to do first is pop out this hazard and lock switch. You just grab a panel tool. This is a PPT1. We sell them as a set of 5, or you can buy each one individually. So you got a panel, a pry, I forgot what this is called, 2 pries and like a scraper. We use a scraper more to wedge. So I'm just gonna grab this over here. All right, pop it up like that. Actually pop the other side too. You know, I'm gonna go over this way. All right, then you're gonna pull that out and then just unplug this from the side right there. Okay, now there's one E20 Phillips head bolt right here. It aims down, so you gotta go up and look. And then this is a magnetic tip. Make sure you have one with a magnetic tip. Don't want to lose this screw just because I'm showing it to you guys. Because a magnetic tip makes life easier because it holds it. Alright, there goes that. And now once you know that, you pretty much gotta pry out. Pry up. Just be careful prying on this, because if you look at the top, this one's already been a little starting to peel from the top. Previous owner probably put some keys up there or something, or like a navigation system, but just be very careful. So that comes out like easy, but you see that it's just covered. So whoever this usually happens because you put keys or whatever up here, and then when you go to pull it out, it rubs on it. But all right guys, next thing you're gonna do is this 2 Phillips head screws over here. All right, so I'm gonna swap out my T20 Torx for a Phillips head. Now I'm gonna grab the one over here first. Like I said, I have a magnetic tip, but even if you have a magnetic tip, it's a good idea to just guide the screw with your finger, because if it drops, see, like I just slipped, it didn't drop because I have a magnetic tip, but you know, better safe than sorry. All right, now you take those 2 screws out. Now you can use any tool you want. If you're still with this one, you can use this one. I like using the wedge tool because the wedge tool has the thinnest edge. So I'm just gonna go in here and just pop it out. Use the same thing on there. There's a bunch of clips back there. I'll show you once I get it out. Just be nice with it. Be easy. And of course this big out of the way cup holder. I hope they give you an option. Alright guys, I forgot to leave it when I was videotaping, but before you take off the center console we're about to take out, make sure the key is off and do not put the key in the ignition until you're done with, you put everything back, okay? Alright guys, I just went and got some tool liner only so this won't get scratched and this won't get scratched up. Now I'm going to flex this a little to show you. It's not a big deal, but so you come over here, you're going to push this in. Whoops. It's a little tab you got to push in. It's a little hard because I'm not facing it right now. You could always cheat. Use a screwdriver. Push the tab in. Alright, so once you push the tab in, this slides up and over and it comes right out. Same thing with this one, little tab on the front, pushes over. Alright. And then over here, these squeeze together and comes right out. Not right out, but there you go. Alright, once you get that out, you can just slide this out the side like this. Okay. Alright guys, we're back. Now, this car, the shift knob came right out. So you can just pull this right out, right through it. Okay. But we're going to show you a lot. Sometimes it's a pain to get these shift knobs out, and it's not even worth going through trouble. So grab your panel tool once again, and you're going to just stick it into the side right here. It's nice and simple. Once you do that, it unclips this side. See, there's 2 clips, 1 and 2. You see that? Let's try to bring you in closer. Sorry guys, I use autofocus. I know a lot of you guys are mad at me right now. How could you use autofocus? Because it works. Alright, so those 2 clips and then the other 2 disengage. Now you get here. Now once you do that, just pop this up. Now back here there's one clip. All right. Now under this thing there's two more. Okay. And then over here there's one that pulls out towards the rear. I mean towards the front of the car. So just wiggle it and it'll disengage. So it came out like that. Now you're supposed to do this. Okay. So as you can see, you have, whoops, let me zoom out. Alright, so you have these two that were in the corner. You have this one that pulls out towards the front and this one that pulls out towards the bottom, okay? Now the reason you're supposed to do that is because that way you don't have to worry about taking the shift knob off, but like I said, this thing came right off. So I'm not sure if it's aftermarket. I don't think it looks factory. But anyway, it gives me a clear view of what's going on, so we're gonna keep it that way, alright? Alright guys, now we're back. Now that we took the shifter out of the way, I took everything out just to make it a clear view. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws we gotta take out. Alright, once we take out those 4 screws, you'll have clear view of the shifter. Now keep these separate. Whenever you work on a car, when you take out the screws, keep them all separate. Only because sometimes they look identical. BMW X3 is a perfect example. The screws are exactly the same. Size, length. The only thing, one has a washer, one doesn't when you take out a radio. And if you don't know that the one with the washer, I'm pretty sure goes on the top, then you don't know what you're doing when you put it back together. Ask me how I know. Because I've made that mistake before, but in that case it's not a big deal, but it can be confusing. Alright guys, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the cup ashtray. I mean I'm sure most of you guys know about this, but it just comes out just like that. Alright. So now you've done that, I'm just going to pull this up here. Alright, and then you're going to squeeze over here. The reason you had to take out the top piece. Alright, and then there's another one right here. Alright, this little one. Make sure you put that little one back in, because I could see everyone forgetting that one. Alright, and then on the back, there are 3 or 4 connections. How am I going to show you these? Oh, you can see them right there. Let's bring them back around. Whoops. Sorry guys, I usually have this nice professional tribe holder I use, but this car, since your car doesn't have headrest, I usually mount it to the headrest. Alright, so now there's a connection up here. See? Up here, this comes right out. The middle one is like a CD changer connection, the 6-pin on the older styles. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then the last one also has this big connection, so you just push here and it comes right out. Alright, now that we're here, you have your ashtray right here, and then when you turn it around, there's your hose. Let me figure out the mounting and everything so I could come back and give you a nice little, I'll show you how to mount it. Alright guys, I know it's a little hard to make out, but in here there's this little thing. Pretty much what it does is that it makes sure that, for some reason, I guess when you open it, it puts the ashtray up or something. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, you got to get this thing out of here to get the spec dock in. So all you got to do pretty much is just get it up and just push forward. So when it's in, alright, and once you do that, it slides right out. So pretty much there's 2 little hooks there that hold it, and you just pop it out. See? Alright. Alright guys, so customer's like, well, what does that do? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Well, what does it do? Alright, so here's what we figured out. Now I just pull the ashtray out like this. If you push back on the door, it comes right out, and voila. So that's what that little thing does. That little thing, when you want to take out your ashtray, you just push back on the door, pops right up. Isn't that cute? Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you how to mount the spec dock. Spec dock goes like this with a little notch towards the front. The instructions you get from spec dock say to put it through here, I think, or through the back maybe. This one, currently their iPhone 5 adapters have the lightning converter built in. So what we're going to do is there's a hole right in the front right there. We're just going to drop it through there. Alright, now I hit this and this all. First of all, I cleaned this real nice, and then I hit this with a heat gun. It's a little cold out today. It's like 40 degrees, so things adhere better when they're warm. So definitely, unless it's 80 degrees out, hit it with a heat gun. A hair blow dryer, you don't have to have a heat gun. If you have a shaved head, I'm sure your neighbor has a blow dryer. And I say that because I have a shaved head, and one of my friends that comes out from California, she left a blow dryer in my house. But if it wasn't for her, there would be no blow dryer in my house. All right, so that goes in. Make sure it's centered nicely. Make sure the wire, you pull it, tug it from the bottom, because what happens a lot of times is the push it forward nicely. Make sure everything closes. Okay. Good, yeah, because what happens a lot of times is the wire will get stuck under. So make sure you tug it, but don't yank on it. Okay. All right, so that's that. Let me come back and I'll show you the rest of the routing of the wire. All right, guys, real quick, I'm going to show you. Most of you guys are going to do a dention. Dention goes in the glove box, so I'm going to show you that way. I don't know what other things you guys may be doing. Oh, we can also make these if you guys just want them for charging. Okay, so you'll get your charging, you hook it up to cigarette lighter, and that's it. All right, so that's also an option. So what I'm going to show you right now, this iPod cable I would never drop this way on a normal occasion, but since this is going to be hidden for a spec dock, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to drop it right through here. All right, and then it'll just come out through here. Oops, just already hit my finger. All right, so that way you do that. And then now the spec docks, dentions go in the glove box. I can actually see light through here. I don't know if the hole's big enough, but it's like threading a needle. This hole's a little small. Alright. This is not where you want it to come out, but I'm just showing you that. That's how easy it is to run through the glove box. To be honest with you, that's probably that's in the hole for the hinge, so that's not going to work at all. But I'm going to drop the glove box. You may or may not see a video on that. All right, but now that we did all that, next steps are to plug the 3 connectors back in. Count them: 1, 2, 3. Last thing you want to do is forget a connector. Okay. Got 1. Make sure they clip in nice and you can't pull them out. 2. You got the 3rd one. All right, don't forget I'm leaning this on this thing. So last thing you want to do is lean it on something that's not hard. All right, and then the spec dock connection goes to right here. All right, so now we're gonna make sure we put this in here. All right. Make sure that doesn't interfere at all. Cigarette lighter, and there was that little one. Don't forget, there's 2 little ones there, and 1 little one that goes here. The little one's probably going to be the light, like, you know, light that comes on and off. And now make sure that you tuck this backwards. Okay. And voila. Now you got this connector, this connector, this connector. All right, and everything else is done backwards. All right. And there's your spec dock just hanging out in the ashtray. All right. Beautiful. All right, so now let me install everything and we'll be right back.